Hey, honey.
Yes, Barry?
Let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Este ritmo de palmas, sin ti naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I'm your host, Barry Kessler, and I am just so happy to be introducing you to my favorite vacation destination. Hey, maybe it's even yours, and that's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. That music you're listening to is performed by Alberto Perez, and Alberto is the owner of the Lapa Lapa group of restaurants. Those are the Lapa Lapa, Puerto Vallarta's oldest restaurant on the famous Los Muertos Beach, and the El Dorado Restaurant and Beach Club right next door. So you can enjoy that fantastic view of the Los Muertos Pier, all lit up at night in beautiful colors, or during the day in its grand splendor for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Seated with your toes in the sand right at the water's edge. It's so romantic. It's so Puerto Vallarta, my friends. This week we will venture into the Versalles neighborhood of Puerto Vallarta for some Italian food. You're going to meet Marco Bruzzoni. He is the owner of Fiamma Pizzeria and Beer Garden. It's great food. It's a lovely atmosphere, and you're really going to enjoy Marco. Then we also have some upcoming events we need to talk about. So let's get to it. Let's see what's happening this week in Puerto Vallarta, the 24th of March, 2022. Our friends over at the Hive Gallery are having their first Vallarta Mural Festival. It's happening March the 25th through the 27th. And if you're not familiar with the Hive Gallery and Misael Lopez, I actually did an interview with Misael, I think maybe about 4 years back. I will link it in the show notes if you haven't heard it. But Misael's group of artists are responsible for a whole bunch of murals that you see all around town, especially over in the neighborhood of Cinco de Diciembre, where they're always looking for walls to paint, by the way. If you know anybody that's got one, let them know. But this neighborhood is rich with murals and street art. If you've never walked Cinco de Diciembre, you got to get out there and see it. Anyway, I have a post from them. The Hive Gallery and Puerto Vallarta Street Art present our first Vallarta Mural Festival. It's located in the Cinco de Diciembre neighborhood. It's going to be March the 25th through the 27th. They're going to drop a festival map soon, it says, although it's coming up pretty soon, like tomorrow. I haven't seen the map yet, but they're going to have live painting artists around the neighborhood. And the starting point is going to be over at the Hive Gallery, which is over at 1337 Calle Columbia over in Cinco de Diciembre. They have a festival Google map with locations of the artists and other beautiful murals in the area. So come out for some fun in the sun and see some beautiful creations. These are our living dreams. Nos vemos allí, and I have a link to their website over at www.pvstreetart.com. Very easy, and from there you can access their Google map, which has different art strolls, they call them, and you can find that link, of course, in the show notes, or just go to pvstreetart.com, where you'll find it there too. The Rio Horcones Music Festival is coming up. That is happening this weekend on Saturday the 26th over at Los Veronos Canopy Tours. And Los Veronos Canopy Tours is located in the village of Las Juntas y Los Veronos. It's about 10 minutes south of Boca de Tomatlan. And I have a little Google map in the show notes. And in order to get there, of course, from Puerto Vallarta, you take Highway 200 south. Turns right at the main crossing of Las Juntas and Veronos, and those who are driving are encouraged to carpool. as the festival parking is going to be limited. And you can take public transportation, of course, the El Tuito bus, which you can catch over at Venustiano Carranza in Aguacate, over in the romantic zone. And, of course, if you take that bus, there's about a half of a kilometer walk from that bus stop at Las Juntas y Los Veronos to the Los Veronos Canopy tour. But it's a nice little walk along the river, and you would really enjoy it. Make sure that you are active enough to be able to do that if you're going to be taking the bus. And by the way, Los Veronos Canopy Tours has a really cool new dinner spot over in the jungle. It's Riverside over on the Rio Horcones, and I actually was in touch with them. They invited me to try it out when I get down into town at the end of April. But if you have a chance, if you're in town, in the meantime, just see if you like it, if you get a chance to get on down there. And if you do, send me a little note and let me know what you think. I embedded a little review that I found on a Facebook page called Jalisco de Mis Amores. And it's got this really lovely lady who speaks Spanish. She's very pretty. And she has a really good video of the space and of the spot. And she's got a good description of it as well, and I've got that in the show notes. So it looks like a really, really great spot to have dinner. And I will get down there in a month, and I'll let you know what I think of it. If you feel really energized and are ready for an adventure, and if you like oysters, of course, you got to like oysters, I think, for this one. You can head on down to Tehuamixle for the Oyster Festival. From Grupo de Tinta Libre, the Facebook page reads, this coming Saturday, March 26th, is already the second Oyster Festival in Tehuamixle. Without a doubt, it'll be a success. The second edition of the Oyster Festival will be held on Saturday in Tehuamixle, in Cabo Corrientes. Neighbors in that community are ready to welcome hundreds of visitors to whom they will invite to taste that seafood named tehua, after being recognized as the capital of oysters. You can reserve a table over at Candy's Restaurant via WhatsApp. I have the number there, 322-117-2914. Tehua is located 2 hours from Puerto Vallarta, and the road that communicates to those destinations is in good condition. I have a link to that Facebook announcement in the show notes, by the way. And remember, it's very easy to get to Tehuamixle. You take a bus to El Tuito, and then you just hire a cab that'll take you down to the beach. It takes about 50 minutes by taxi to take you from Tuito down to Tehuamixle. And you can have the driver come back, or you can have the driver wait for you. It should cost you no more than 600 pesos each way, so that's like $60 total U.S., plus whatever you work out with the driver for the ride back. So if you invite him to come and have food with you, that would be fine. But remember, you don't want to be giving this guy a lot to drink, okay? Just remember that. I've made that mistake before, okay? Don't make that mistake, all right? Feed him, don't drink him, if you know what I mean. Anyway, you get that ride back from the driver back to El Tuito, and then from El Tuito you go ahead and take that El Tuito bus back down to Puerto Vallarta. Now, don't forget that the last bus that leaves out of El Tuito is at 6 in the evening. So if you miss that bus, it's going to be an expensive cab ride back to town. So make sure you catch the bus when you come back from that Oyster Festival. So if the Oyster Festival and the Music Festival in the Horcones and the Mural Festival over in Cinco de Diciembre aren't enough for you this weekend, well, don't forget there's going to be a taco fair, that's right, over in Puerto Magico. And here's the announcement from our friend Edgar Rivas. He says, come try the best tacos from Puerto Vallarta, local restaurants and original Mexican flavor together in one place. Sunday, the 27th, at Puerto Magico from 4 o'clock till 11 o'clock. There is free access. There is free parking. And like all of the events that Edgar puts on, he's going to have craft beer. He'll have mixologists that will be mixing cocktails and spotlighting local breweries and distilleries in the area. There's going to be live music, of course, and it'll be a great event. Plus, it's at Puerto Magico, so you can shop and you can buy some chocolate and you can Google the cruise ships, and it'll be great fun. Anyway, like I said, free parking. It's easy to get to. You can take a cab. You can take an Uber over there and have yourself a good time. Tacos all in one place. Qualifying residents in Puerto Vallarta will be able to get tested for free for COVID. This is from Vallarta Reporter Online. It says Puerto Vallarta DIF President Maria de Jesus Lopez Delgado and Mayor Luis Alberto Michel Rodriguez inaugurated the COVID Detection Center on Thursday. It makes free COVID-19 tests available to Vallartans. The center is located in the facilities of the Municipal Medical Services Directorate at Paseo de los Palmas, number 10, in Barrio Santa Maria. People who have symptoms or suspect that they are carriers of COVID-19 will now have the option of taking a free viral antigen detection test. They must make an appointment first at 322-226-8085 from the hours of 8 until 4. A certificate will be issued that will help them verify whether or not they have the disease. And in the event that the person presents serious symptoms, they can be referred to the Naval Hospital. So that's good news. If you have a Mexican friend in Vallarta who needs to take a test but can't afford one, now they can get one for free over at DIF. So we also have some new rules that concern Canadians and Canadian travel. This is from Banderas News. It's dated March 21st. Canada to lift pre-entry COVID-19 testing requirement. As of April 1st, fully vaccinated travelers will no longer need to provide a negative pre-entry COVID-19 test result to enter Canada by air, land, or water. Fully vaccinated travelers seeking to arrive in Canada before April 1st, 2022 must still have a valid pre-entry test. Eliminating the testing requirement, which was announced by the federal government on March 17th, is something that the travel and tourism organizations have been calling for, arguing that the requirement presented an unnecessary logistical and financial burden on travelers. However, passengers may still be subjected to mandatory random PCR testing at the airport. Of course, they need to hassle us. God. In part to monitor for new emerging COVID-19 variants and scariants, though they will no longer be required to isolate while awaiting their results. Despite pre-arrival testing and requirements being lifted for fully vaccinated travelers entering Canada at the end of the month, other pandemic travel rules still apply. For example, vaccination rules in Canada haven't changed at all. If you're planning to travel to Canada and you still need to determine whether you qualify as a fully vaccinated traveler, based on Canadian government's definition, it says here you're considered vaccinated if you have received at least 2 doses of a vaccine accepted for travel, a mix of 2 accepted vaccines, or at least 1 dose of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, and have received your second dose at least 14 calendar days before you enter Canada. What vaccines are accepted? Well, I got a big long list. I'll read them to you. They're the AstraZeneca COVID Shield, Barrett BioNTech, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, Novavax, Pfizer BioNTech, including for children aged 5 to 11 years. Oh, my God. Sinopharm, Sinovac. Yeah, that's it. And if your proof of vaccination isn't in English or French, you still have to get it translated. The certified translation has to include the stamp or membership number of a professional translation association that does it for you, and you'll want to keep both the original version and the translated versions with you while you travel. Unvaccinated and partially vaccinated travelers will still need to isolate and be tested and hassled and prodded upon arrival, and again 8 days later. All travelers continue to be required to submit their mandatory information in ArriveCan, free mobile app, or website before their arrival in Canada. Travelers who arrive without completing their ArriveCAN submission may have to test on arrival and quarantine for 14 days, regardless of their vaccination status. Travelers taking a cruise or a plane must submit their information in ArriveCAN within 72 hours before boarding. Federal officials say that they will continue to monitor the COVID-19 situation in Canada and abroad, and changes may be made to travel requirements as the epidemiological situation evolves. Right. Let us remember that all measures are subject to review, said Canadian Health Minister Jean-Yves Duclos. We will continue to adjust them as the epidemiological situation here in Canada and abroad evolves, it says here. And I have a link to that article from the Vandaris News in the show notes, so there you go. And if that all sounded really confusing to you, well, it is. Read it again. It's in the show notes. Congratulations are in order for Naomi and Todd. Our favorite ice cream shop in Puerto Vallarta, Licks, is just turning 10 years. They're celebrating 10 years of running Licks in Puerto Vallarta. Todd and Naomi have gone from one place over on Basilio Badillo to 3 locations in total. Their second in Versalles. Their third is on the Malecon extension, just before the pedestrian bridge, and right there in the Juarez parking structure. And, well, if you've never been there, well, I'm going to tell you, they have the most delicious ice cream in Puerto Vallarta, and their caramel-injected frozen bananas, which are dipped in chocolate and then rolled in nuts. What can I tell you? That's my favorite. That's my favorite. Anyway, they also carry chocolates from Cacao Magico, which makes a visit to Licks extra delicious. Anyway, congratulations, Todd and Naomi. Way to go. Way to go, you guys. I have links to their locations in the show notes. And coming up next month on the calendar, there are the holy holidays. We've got Semana Santa, which is Sunday the 10th of April till the 16th. And Pascua and Easter Sunday is the 17th of April, which is, of course, Sunday. And we'll keep an eye on the first major holiday, which is going to be celebrated without restrictions it's been 2 years now. It's going to be a zoo. All right, let's get to our guest, shall we? My friend Dean Rager from Puerto Magico, actually from Cacao Magico, who we were just talking about in connection with our friends over at Licks, introduced me to our next guest. And you're going to be seeing how lots of these things are all interconnected. They are. It's just an amazing thing. And Dean says to me, Barry, you need to meet my friend Marco. Marco runs one of my favorite restaurants. He's Italian, and so is his food. So let me know if you want to come to Versalles. You'll love his food, and you'll love this guy. So I said, hook me up, Dean. And sure enough, I was WhatsApping with Marco just about as fast as you could say rigatoni. And we made a date to break some bread. So Fiamma Pizzeria, Trattoria, and Beer Garden is located on a quiet street, Versalles neighborhood, Versalles area. You enter the outdoor area of the restaurant, and it is surrounded by walls which are painted with murals, which are scenes from Italy, and it's really gorgeous. Potted plants. It's just a really lovely spot where you're transported to an Italian sidewalk cafe or a sweet little patio garden, you know. The place has real energy to it. There is a custom-made pizza oven where Marco and his chefs do their magic. And, it's just a lovely spot. So let's go right now. Let's meet the man in charge of this beautiful place. And let's sit on the patio, speak with Marco Brusone, passionate cook, restaurateur, and artist. Wow. Another restaurant owner who's an artist? What do you know? Anyway, You see a pattern here? I see a pattern here. Lots of creativity with these chefs. So anyway, let's go right now to 111 Calle Abre in Colonio Diaz Ordaz. And let's talk with Marco Bruzzoni, Fiamma Pizzeria and Beer Garden in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Marco, thanks for coming on the show.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? And what was your path that led you to Puerto Vallarta?
Well, I'm Italian, and after I finished my college in Italy, I emigrated to Chicago, in the United States, where I spent almost 20 years in Chicago. Beautiful city, but very cold. So once I had enough of the cold, I started traveling and opening different trattoria and different restaurants everywhere in the world. From Chicago, we went to open in Trinidad and Tobago. From Trinidad and Tobago, we went to open in Grenada, which is another island close by in the Caribbean. And then from there, because my wife is Mexican, we decided to come in Mexico, and we opened a successful, beautiful restaurant in San Miguel de Allende in Guanajuato. And from there, unfortunately, after the pandemic, we came to the ocean. We came to Vallarta, and it's been hard because, of course, it's been hard to everybody, this pandemic. But I can't complain. You know, my hard work, my passion for the food, my passion for life, my passion for art made it liked pretty much a lot of customers. So I'm doing good. I can't complain.
And, well, in San Miguel, you were there for how long?
4 years almost.
You were there, and so you built the business, and then the pandemic hit, and they closed everybody down up there.
Everybody down, and I had a very high rent. And San Miguel is very expensive. It's a unique place, so very expensive, and a lot of employees. So I panicked like everybody else in the world did, and I closed down. So I have a 16-year-old daughter, so we were looking for a place where I was relaxing, living, like the ocean, for example, like Vallarta, and the school system was good enough. In fact, it is good enough. There is an high level of private school, and my daughter is very happy with it, and that's why I do all this sacrifice for her. So we came here. We
do stuff like that for
Vallarta.
Our kids too, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. She like Vallarta?
She loves Vallarta. I mean, she loves the ocean, of course.
Yeah, and
the ocean is a doctor, mental and physical. So it helps a lot to concentrate, to relax, and to get your day by. A nice walk in the morning on the beach fix your day.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, at least gets it started right.
Yes, it gets it started right. A nice coconut water on the beach. Nothing healthier.
All right, so you got to Puerto Vallarta. Obviously, we are sitting in an Italian restaurant. When you got here, is that the first thing you thought you were going to be doing, is finding a place to open up?
Yes. I've been in the business, in the industry, food and beverage all my life. So I have it in my veins because Italy is a host country. So hosting is in my DNA. And I'm a people. I love to have people around me. So I always put myself in discussion with my food, with my suggestions, with a new flavor, because Mexico brought me a lot of new ingredients, a lot of new flavor, a lot of new fruits and vegetables, and I didn't have knowledge of the consistency of it. But I've been working with it, and they're excellent. I mean, it's a great integration of an Italian menu.
Yeah. Do you have any trouble at all finding certain things?
Not really. I mean, Vallarta is pretty connected. We have Guadalajara 3 hours away. One of the second city biggest second city in Mexico. So there is a lot of company import-export that has my Italian product. Fresh fish, of course, is Vallarta. There is not a problem at all. And vegetables and fruit, again, we are in Mexico. There is 15 different kinds of every items. So it's like kiddie land for a chef.
Yeah, I bet.
And then I like the relationship in store with the market, with the old ladies. Then they start going every day. So you start installing this relationship. And they impart you the best parsley, the best fruit, the best vegetables. I bring them coffee, so it's more a human
or connection going on
human
there.
connection. That is because that's very important too. Most of the restaurants right now, they order, and everything is being boarded to them, And I like to go to the market and meet these people and choose my potato, choose my eggplant, choose my vegetables, and in the meantime, have a relationship with the country, with Mexico, because that's how you learn about this country. In the market, knowing people that live here and they're born here and they are all their life in here, so they can tell you a few stories about it.
Yeah.
We don't know.
That exactly. Lots of knowledge.
Yes.
So, what is Fiamma?
Fiamma is flame.
Ah, okay.
Because I cook with wood. Everything is by wood fire, so Fiamma.
Fiamma is flame. Okay.
Yes.
Why don't I know that? I should know that. All right, so let's talk about your menu. This is
My menu.
yeah.
Allora, I am an authentic pizzeria Napolitana. So old style pizza made by wood oven, Italian flour, fresh ingredients. So I born as a pizzeria, but of course, being Italian, people start asking me for pasta and everything else. So we actually escalate to be a trattoria, also a pizzeria. So we do pretty much a little bit of everything. We don't have a menu per se. I make a special menu, a fresh menu every day. Depend what I find in the market, what's fresh, what's available, and what comes from the sea that day. And here it is. And I create my pasta, my ravioli, my specials. And I love to actually serve my food as a family style. So because what we try to accomplish in here is not just good food, but an Italian experience. Where, in Italy, the big table, the big family, minimal 8 kids and grandmother and uncle and everybody, they all eat together. Well, that's what we try to accomplish here. Our customers, they come, and they don't even want to see the menu. They don't want to. They tell me cook, and I cook for them.
Wow.
And that's what I love because it's different. Most of the restaurants right now, 90% of the restaurants, they have a menu. They have a pretty cold relationship with their customers. Not in here. Here is a big family. Even because I live upstairs, my restaurant. So it really is my house. So you're welcome in my house, your house, and that's the experience.
This area that we're sitting in here now is absolutely beautiful. This wall looks like Italy.
Yeah, it's my murals. I'm an artist. I'm a muralist.
You did that?
Yes.
Oh, wow. All right.
It's one of my first passion, actually, before cooking. But yes, Versalles is an upcoming neighbor. It's very new. Lately has the name to be the culinary neighbor of Vallarta. There is restaurant opening every day from every nation, every taste. There is pretty much a little bit of everything. And close to the ocean, of course, and strategically put in the middle between the old town and the new marina. So we are straight in the middle.
Yeah, you are.
So it's actually a very good thing.
Yeah.
A very reachable from everywhere.
Exactly.
So it's easy. There is a lot of parking, so it's not like downtown where you have to stress up by parking and tickets and police. Here, you can find parking anywhere, and it's pretty safe because there is a lot of security, private security going around, and also the police keeps in check.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a safe, nice, and culinary paradise, I guess, for everybody.
Yeah, sure is. You have a wine list.
Of course.
You know,
I have a
Italian
wine list, but I don't like to work with it because I usually push one wine, the house wine, which is a Montepulciano d'Abruzzo, where I'm from. And I know actually this vineyard personally when I was a kid. So I tried to push this wine. It is an excellent wine, besides the point. But I love to just work with this house wine.
Uh-huh.
Again, mine is a Trattoria and Pizzeria, so it doesn't belong like heavy and expensive wine. But a good table wine is a perfect combination for my food.
Do you have a liquor license as well?
Of course, I have a liquor license.
So you're doing everything.
I have a full bar, of course.
Okay, fantastic.
I have a full bar, and we make margaritas, sangrias, Aperol spritz, Negronis. We make pretty much everything. But again, people come for the wine.
Yeah.
I'm an Italian place.
We're in Italy. Come on.
This is Italy.
Yeah.
This is Italy with our passport.
That's right. That's exactly right. And I'm enjoying it right now.
I know. You don't even try the food yet.
I know. Opening up a place like this and being new to Puerto Vallarta, was it hard? Was it hard to get permits? Was it hard to get people to help you put this together?
Well, it's always hard to start a new business. Yeah. You have to have a lot of patience and a lot of experience. This place was particularly hard because we opened in pandemic time. So it was hard. People weren't going around. There was a lot of panic. So we actually survived with a neighbor that support us. So I have to thank each one of them. Then they support me through the hard time. We made it. Hopefully it's all over or back to the new normality. And let's hope that this season will be a great one.
Yeah. I think it will.
We all need it.
We all need it. Absolutely. Was it hard finding this place?
Vallarta has a lot of real estate. There is a lot of option. My place, it was a long story. It was an abandoned building. It was an old medical building, which, because we were in pandemic, I had enough time to dedicate myself on it.
For a little search,
Yes, and from an abandoned property became this beautiful restaurant. And you see, was a lot of work. It was easier and lucky for me, but it's not. I mean, it takes a lot of, again, it's a personal thing. It takes a lot of dedication because, like everybody knows in the restaurant business, location is the key of everything.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. Now, what style of Italian food is this? This is southern, northern. What is this?
Okay, this is my mom's kitchen, my mom's recipe. I'm from the center of Italy. It's called Abruzzo. It's a region slam in the middle of Italy, but we have a lot of influence for the south. So my food is more southern food. A lot of garlic, a lot of olive oil and fresh ingredients and basil and parsley and the herbs. In Versailles, I do have one of my best friends that owns the other Italian restaurant in the neighborhood, which is called La Tosca. It's a friend of mine, Gaetano. He makes more than northern Italian food, and he doesn't make pizza, so we get along perfectly.
Oh, you guys have a symbiotic relationship.
Yes,
yeah.
And he sends people to me, I send people to him. We have a great relationship. Both restaurants, they are great. Both food are great.
Yeah, yeah. Or you wouldn't send people there otherwise.
Otherwise,
No, that's for sure. All right, well, let's talk about restaurants a little bit here in Versalles, because we don't get to visit Versalles on the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show that often. So, because we've already talked about your friend,
My friend La Tosca.
yeah,
yes.
and that's a dinner place, and I'm not going to
Yes.
talk about any other dinner places. Let's talk about breakfast and lunch places. You
Breakfast
got any
and
favorite
lunch
places?
places. Breakfast and lunch places, there is to choose from it.
Yeah.
I mean, there is hundreds of them. Especially because this neighbor is there is a concentration of Canadian and American people, and you know how much they love their breakfast.
Yeah.
It's the most important meal for them. So there is a lot of good places. I cannot name you one because otherwise everybody else gonna hate me. But there is definitely to come and discover them, because there is a great coffee shops, great bakeries, great lunch and breakfast places. So there is a lot to visit and a lot to discover in this little neighborhood.
Yeah, so don't miss
Don't miss the
this
neighborhood.
neighborhood.
Don't miss Versailles.
Yeah. Well, what about lunch? You got any favorite lunch places? Or are you afraid that they're going to be mad at you for that too?
No, lunch place. Well, depends on your budget, of course. There is all kinds of different budget for lunch. You know, depends if you want to have a lobster or if you want to have a taco. You know, but again, there is so many of them. You know, depends. Also depends on your taste, because there is from Vietnamese food to Chinese to Thai to sushi to Greek to you name it. I
Yeah.
mean, there is everybody in here. So it really depends on your taste. And there is vegan, a lot of vegan place, a lot of new place coming up with organic ingredients. So there is a little bit for everybody.
What if a vegan was coming into your restaurant? What would you serve them?
Well, we have a lot of vegetables, because the Italian kitchen is based on the vegetables. So we do eggplant parmigiana, we do things with fresh mozzarella, with burrata, which is a buffalo mozzarella. We have all kinds of different salads. We have gluten-free pasta.
Oh, wow.
We pretty much try to make everybody happy. I mean, this is my mission.
Right.
You know, my satisfaction is where the customer is happy and leaves from here full, most of it, and happy. You know, that's the reward of all this job.
Yeah.
All this work.
Yeah, no kidding. If you were going to, now I know that you're a busy man, so you probably don't get a chance to leave town a whole lot. But if you had a chance to leave town for a day, just do a day trip, coming back and forth, where would you go?
Well, again, that's personal. But me, I will go visit an agave farm where they make the mezcal, where they make the tequila. They have their own technique of fermentation. It's actually very interesting to see how they get the agave out of the ground and cut them and cook them, and the whole process is very interesting. I will go there if I was you and check them out. And of course, because I love tequila, so
Yeah. Well, what's there
Who
not to like
doesn't?
about tequila, except for the after effect?
Yes.
What about if you were going to take like several days off, like 3 days off in a row? Where would you go?
I will sleep for 3 days. No,
I believe you.
okay, no. But again, Vallarta has so much to offer. I mean, from a boat trip, there is Lilo Island, there is beaches, and you can go just by boat. In fact, we have Uber boat.
You
They
do?
will take you there.
No
yes, and they
way.
come
I
pick
didn't
you up
know
and then at the
that.
end of the night. There is Cascade, there is mountains, there is a little bit of everything. I mean, this is a really a fun city.
Yeah.
You know, they come here to have fun. It is a fun city. Best place in Vallarta? Well, I will suggest you to walk, a nice walk on Sunset on the Malecon.
Yeah.
It's full of art, it's full of restaurants, full of bars, full of artisany, shows, and there is pretty much a little bit of everything. The town is alive. It's a nice thing to see.
Yeah, no doubt about that. That's why we all keep coming back.
Yes. Don't coming back in the fourth summer.
Yeah, don't do
months.
it.
It's too hot.
Don't do
too
it.
hot.
Unless
too
you're used
humid.
to it. Unless if you're from Florida.
November to April is the best time to come in Vallarta. Weather is perfect. It's breezy and it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
And that's what you're looking for on a vacation.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't look to sweat your.
No, you don't. You don't want to have the 4-shower day or the
No.
5-shower day. It's not right. And think about all the extra clothes you have to pack in order to do that,
Yes.
If you had a word of advice for a first-timer, someone the first time coming to Puerto Vallarta, what would that be?
Well, like as a suggestion, as well, you gotta keep
Well,
your eyes open.
yeah.
You gotta keep your eyes open. Doesn't matter if you are in Vallarta, Chicago, Rome, Naples, or whenever you are. It's always about the action you take. So don't be stupid. Keep your eyes open. Don't be then drunk that give the opportunity, to something to happen. So be responsible and enjoy the city because there is so much to enjoy. But
Yeah.
it's always with your head on top of your shoulder.
Absolutely.
Always.
Absolutely. Yeah, that makes total sense to me. And I guess that would be the same. You'd probably say the same thing if I had told you what kind of words of caution, right? What kind of
Yes,
words of
same
caution?
thing. I mean, it's traveler, they know. Then it's not the place, then it's dangerous. It's their action. So don't show gold. Don't leave the phone in your taxi driver. Watch your wallet. Don't put the money in the same place. The usual suggestion then to go anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
You know.
Your name is very unusual. What
Bruzzone.
Bruzzone. What's Bruzzone?
Well, as
come
I
from?
told you, I come from Abruzzo, which is a region in Italy. So I guess my generation got the name from the region. So
Is it
Abruzzo, Bruzzone.
Is Bruzzone, is it a common name?
Common name in Italy, of course.
Yeah,
Not in
that's
here.
what I mean,
I
yeah.
think I'm the only one.
You're the only one I've ever
But
met.
yeah,
Seriously.
that's pretty common in Italy. I mean, in my region, there is. I have a big, huge, extended family.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yes.
Is there anything I've forgotten? Is there something that you want to add before we say goodbye today?
Well, we pretty much touch every little aspect. What I want to tell people, please come visit me. You're going to love the atmosphere of this place, the energy of this place, besides the food, that is good. But always be safe. And please do not be scared to travel. Let's get the travel back on because, we're all sick and tired of this situation. So we got to go back in new normality. So we all waiting everybody with open hands, open arms, and let's hope that this year will be the year. We all need it.
Yeah. Oh, do we ever?
Yes.
Well, Marco, I want to thank you so much for
Pleasure.
introducing
Thank you for coming.
yourself, letting me introduce you, and this lovely restaurant, Fiamma.
Pizzeria, Trattoria, Fiamma.
Thank you again for allowing
You're
me to
welcome.
introduce you and Fiamma. Pizzeria
Thank
Fiamma
you very much.
to my listeners.
And it's about time we eat something now.
Exactamente.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao to everybody. Welcome in.
All right. Thank you, Marco. Now, after that interview, we were joined with some friends, and we had a wonderful meal, complete with pasta and pizza and drinks and cappuccino and dessert. Kind of like Marco said. He just says, let me cook for you, We didn't talk about desserts when I was talking with Marco here, but man, Fiamma's got everything. The atmosphere, the staff, and Marco. He has live music on certain evenings as well, and I have links to the Facebook page and to the website and a Google map that will take you right to the front door at Fiamma Pizzeria and Beer Garden. Hey, a Trattoria. I'll throw that in too. Why not? I mean, that's what Marco said, right? Anyway, you can find that all in the show notes over at www.PuertoVallartaTravelShow.com. All right. Well, that should do it for today. Next week, stay tuned for more on-the-ground reports from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with travel tips and great restaurant excursion ideas and more. But until then, remember that this is an interactive show where I depend on your questions and your suggestions about all things Puerto Vallarta. If you think of something that I should be talking about, well, please reach out to me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending us your message. And remember, if you're considering booking any type of tour while you're in Puerto Vallarta, well, you must go to vallartainfo.com. That's JR's website. Reserve your tour through him, right from his website. Remember, this is a value-for-value proposition. His experience and on-the-ground knowledge of everything Puerto Vallarta in exchange for your making a purchase of a tour that you would do anyway. You're just doing it through him as a way of saying thank you. Thanks, JR, for being our guide. It costs no more than if you were going to use someone else, so do it, really. And when you do take one of those tours, email me about your experience. Maybe you can come on board and share with others what you liked or didn't like about the tour. Again, contact me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending off a message. And don't forget, he's got his maps, his DIY tours, his revitalized happy hour board, and more. And I have links to all of those in the show notes. And once again, if you like this podcast, please take the time to subscribe, follow, give me a good review wherever you happen to be listening to it. That way, tell a friend. Hey, that's the way to really get the word out to more and more people about the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Remember, I made it easy for you to do just that with each episode I create. But if you haven't been to my website, you really need to check it out. I have links to the places we talk about, interesting pictures and more, right there, blog posts, and in the show notes for each episode of the show. So check them out for sure if you haven't already, all right? All right. Well, thank you, Marco Ruzzone from Fiamma Pizzeria and Beer Garden in Versalles. Great food and a friendly atmosphere, like you're dining in Italy. I mean, it opens at 5 daily. They close at 11. Make sure you check their Facebook page for their hours, just to make sure before you go out there, of course. And like and follow them on Facebook. And hey, thanks to all of you for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. This is Barry Kessler signing off with a wish for you to slow down, be kind, and live the Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
Solo camino interno por la playa, me encuentro junto al río cuando todo está en calma. Pronto cae la noche, brillas Puerto Vallarta.